Old Baba Noor extended his trembling finger towards the small, dirt-stained hand. A light flickered in his eyes, undimmed by the years of hardship he had endured. "Remember this, my son." His voice was like the gentle chime of an old bell. "The most precious treasure isn't buried in the ground, but within you, the seed of courage. Never let it wither." "Remember this, my son." Old Baba Noor extended his trembling finger towards the small, dirt-stained hand. A light flickered in his wrinkled eyes, undimmed by the years of hardship he had endured. "The most precious treasure isn't buried in the ground, but within you, the seed of courage. Never let it wither." Hamza, an 11-year-old boy with a deep shadow of despair on his young face, looked up at Baba Noor. The simple, slightly soiled shalwar kameez he wore bore the marks of play. He had lost heart after repeated failures in a most challenging exam, a heavy burden weighing down his innocent soul. Baba Noor, whose white hair and serene face told tales of life's ebbs and flows, sat quietly in a secluded corner. His worn kurta and the woolen shawl draped over his shoulders further emphasized his dignified calm. His very presence was a message of solace. In his small voice, Hamza expressed his anguish. "Babaji, I tried so hard, I studied all day, but still, the good marks don't come. I feel like I'll never succeed." The bitterness of hopelessness laced his tone. Baba Noor looked at him with gentle eyes and took a deep breath. Instead of offering immediate comfort, he began to narrate an old and instructive tale. Many years ago, there was a powerful river determined to cross a towering and seemingly insurmountable mountain. The river gathered all its might, crashing against its peaks with fierce waves, expending all its energy to conquer it. But the mountain stood firm, unmoved. The river, despite all its efforts, failed and began to sink into the deep abyss of despair, a clear sense of defeat in its flow. But then, in the darkness of that despair, the river decided to take a different path. It divided its immense power, branching out into small streams, rivulets, and waterfalls. Instead of direct confrontation, it began to spread at the foot of the mountain. Slowly, with patience and perseverance, it began to erode its foundations. Its gentle waves continuously lapped against the rocks, and after years of silent struggle, its tiny currents, working together, carved a narrow passage through the mountain's hard chest. Over time, this passage widened, and finally, the river reached the other side of the mountain like a victor. As the story concluded, Baba Noor focused his calm gaze on Hamza. "Look, my son, life's great difficulties are not always overcome by brute force and haste. Sometimes we need to be like that powerful river, flexible, patient, and constantly striving. Failure doesn't mean you are weak or your abilities are limited. Rather, it is a valuable sign that you need to change your strategy, adjust your approach, and try different paths. Every failure teaches a new lesson, points towards a new direction." Baba Noor then shared several bittersweet anecdotes from his own life with Hamza. He recounted how, in his youth, he had faced severe financial hardships, when hunger tried to shake his resolve, but he never gave up, taking on small, menial jobs and slowly improving his life. He also spoke of his failures, like a small business he had started that resulted in a heavy loss despite his honesty. But that bitter experience had taught him many important principles of life. Baba Noor wisely advised Hamza to divide his large and difficult goal into smaller, achievable parts. If you want to travel a long and arduous journey, every small step you take is extremely important. Celebrate every small success with an open heart. It will generate an enduring courage within you to move further forward. He urged Hamza to contemplate the vast world around him, how a tiny and delicate plant pushes through hard and barren soil toward the sun, how a small ant tirelessly carries a load many times its own weight with constant effort and dedication. Nature teaches us this invaluable lesson that continuous effort and patience never go to waste. They will surely bear fruit, even if it takes time. Baba Noor looked deeply into Hamza's innocent eyes and said, in his soft and gentle voice, "A hidden treasure of strength lies within you, the true extent of which you haven't yet realized. Despair temporarily makes you feel weak and helpless, but in reality, it is a golden opportunity to recognize your inner resilience, your flexibility, and your endurance. That small seed of courage I showed you is, in fact, already within you. You just need to water it with your hard work, your belief, and your continuous efforts. Remember, an invincible power resides within every human being. All that is needed is to awaken it and use it in the right direction." Deeply moved by Baba Noor's insightful words, Hamza began to feel a new and vibrant energy coursing through him. He made a firm resolution in his heart to face his challenge with an entirely new courage and enthusiasm. He devised a clear plan to divide his difficult studies into small, manageable parts, making a firm commitment to study a specific and achievable section each day. Whenever he encountered a complex point or a difficult question during his studies, he immediately recalled Baba Noor's precious advice to be flexible and to try different methods and perspectives to solve the problem. In the beginning, he faced small setbacks several times. Some questions seemed beyond his young comprehension. In those discouraging moments, a cold wave of despair would try to touch his heart. But the serene and confident face of Baba Noor and the sweet memory of his encouraging words would instantly grant him strength and perseverance. Slowly, Hamza's tireless hard work and continuous dedication began to bear fruit. He started performing significantly better in his school's small tests and exercises, which boosted both his confidence and his morale. Each small success proved to be another strong step towards a new destination, doubling his courage. Finally, the important and decisive day arrived for Hamza to take his big exam. He focused all his attention, hard work, and dedication, carefully reading each question and answering to the best of his abilities. When the results were announced, Hamza couldn't believe his eyes. He had not only passed the exam successfully, but had also achieved a remarkable position with excellent marks. Overjoyed, Hamza ran towards Baba Noor's hut. He held the old man's frail hands in his small ones and looked at him with deep reverence and gratitude. "Babaji, thank you so much. Your invaluable words have completely changed the course of my life. I had completely given up hope. I was convinced that I would never succeed. But you not only made me believe that I could do it, but also showed me the path to reach my goal." Baba Noor smiled with love and affection, a heartwarming glow of contentment and happiness in his aged eyes. "My dear child, I didn't teach you any magic. I only showed you the bright path that was already within you. The real and genuine work was done by you, with your own hard work and dedication. Always remember, difficulties and obstacles will continue to appear in life. But if that small seed of courage remains alive in your heart, you will easily overcome every hardship and every challenge." Hamza treasured Baba Noor's precious advice deep within his heart. He now understood well that the true and invaluable treasure is not just the attainment of some external success, but the power of unwavering courage, steadfast patience, and firm self-belief learned while walking that arduous path, a power that makes a person successful in every field. From that day forward, Hamza never gave up in the face of small failures and temporary setbacks, always keeping Baba Noor's wise counsel fresh in his mind and heart, that the greatest and most precious treasure resides not elsewhere, but within himself.